Oh. Okay, so here to do a reading here for Taurus and Taurus's connection. Beginning with the first house, this is going to be a short-term energy reading to see the trajectory and the way energy is moving through the houses. So here we'll see the numbers change to point to which house we're working in. And then this here lets us know that we're in Taurus's house. So the first house is Aries. Second house, Taurus. Third house, Gemini. Fourth house is Cancer. Fifth house, Leo. Sixth house, Virgo. Seventh house, Libra. Eighth house, Scorpio. Ninth house, Sagittarius. 10th house, Capricorn. The 11th house is Aquarius, and the 12th house is Pisces. All right, so there we go. Dear Holy Spirit, please give me a reading for Taurus and Aries. The first and second house. Okay, so there seems to be some indication in this connection that there might be more than one person of interest in the picture. That information is not really readily available due to the moon and the major arcanas in the second position, also containing the 13 major arcana. So this seems to be one connection here between Aries and Taurus. And there could be another interest. There's something about it that's unrealized as they're standing at the Two of Swords. So there's some sort of impasse that they'll intuitively figure out, however. So yeah, it's giving moon It's giving the 13 major arcana, so it kind of looked like a purge. You know, a decision is going to be made, of course, with the Two of Swords there, clarifying, which seems to resonate with me because even without this row of clarifiers, the embodiments themselves in the first spread that was pulled, you have the King of Pentacles, and then you have the 13 major arcana, and then there's somewhat perspective is everything of a reduction of the element and the value, you know, having pentacles here and then having cups there, you know, so you take this embodiment here that suggests everything that's necessary and needed to be abundant and successful and have things raised to a higher level of commitment is seen on this side with a specific element of cups, which point to emotions, is clarified here with having the Queen and Knight of Cups, you know, and it signifies a wedding. So I feel like because of like how I was saying, subjective and context is everything. We're looking at the King of Cups there, and if there's a reduction in the energy, like why don't I see Pentacles on this other side? I feel like it has something to do with there being a purge, one of the connections or something that was in the picture presenting obstructive interference. I'm inferring all of that. Something is eliminated here. So you have the King of Pentacles, cut one of the options out of the picture. That was purged here with the 13 major arcana, moon energy there, true love. So it's like through the process of elimination, this couple here finds their connection, the one that's most promising. So they're purging out. Doesn't even have to be, okay, so when I describe it as another lover or a love option, but it could be something, anything that's inanimate that kind of stands in the way of this connection getting off the ground, purging it, letting it go. Could be a lot of different things from like habits, or maybe even if they're relocating items that they discard to move together, or they're doing it for the sake of love. And it feels like they're doing it also with confidence that whatever is potentially lost, they can have it again together. Wedding is the clarifier there. So a reunion, joining together and having a completion between the two of them in this couple. So it just feels like the whole spread is talking about coming together, getting to know one another, committing, complimenting each other, making appropriate adjustments when needed, making some compromises to make it work. So all in all, looking at a good connection there. True love. You deserve love. It's like a missing piece, a missing puzzle piece. You deserve love. Then we have true love and a wedding. Also with this, you know, Scorpio, 8th house, 13 major arcana could be philosophy, you know, spiritual differences that take the time to gel together. Or I'm leaning more towards philosophical, hardwired thought processes coming together. True love. The moon and Scorpio. 18th major arcana. The death card. So that's one translation there. I'm interested to see what else could be behind these. They're both kind of giving me some unknown, some mystery there. Let's see. See, mystery. 7 of Cups. Okay, but a willingness to work on that mystery. 8 of Pentacles. Okay, have Emperor. That's Aries energy, but looking at the I am, you know, this energy is very sure, authoritative. Interesting. So a lot of energy that's referring, I feel like clarifying what was already said about it. There's a lot of unknowns, but they're working to come together and have an understanding and compromise if need be, whatever they need to do to get it off the ground. is what it looks like they do. There goes the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so a love offer, moving the connection to a higher level of commitment. So I was wondering where the Pentacles go, but it's being clarified under the Moon in 13 Major Arcana energy. So we still have Pentacles here. Oh, there goes the 13 Major Arcana. This is the card that I'm clarifying. So I just seen a love offer, a Pentacle, but then it was also, who knows, because I'm like, where did the Pentacles go over here? No, it's the sentiment, all money isn't good money. Maybe they spent the money to help them come together, get to know each other, spend some time together. But there's a lot of secrets here. It seems to be, it's a general reading, and sometimes I am shut out from those specific details on purpose to leave it vague. So my intention is just to etch in a light framework so that if the reading resonates with the viewer, you can put your storyline into the frame and see if it resonates and get the information that you need. 9 of Pentacles, the Strength. 8 of Pentacles, the Magician. So getting a very good resonance here in this connection. Again, highlighting a willingness to work together to get their connection off of the ground. Alright, so in a moment we'll move to look at Taurus with other Tauruses. Okay, so with you deserve love, finances, and career make an appearance. Remembering that Pentacle that made an appearance. Yeah, maybe it's to help one another financially. Finances and career make an appearance around passion here. Finances and career, children. Maybe the Page is a child too, sometimes, depending on. So there's a lot. In the 8th house, Scorpio's house deals with children too, especially in conception, new arrivals, regeneration. Express your love, finances, and career. Yeah, I was wondering, hey, some of that money was spent to get to know each other. Release your ex. We're looking at, look like somebody could have been in the connection that finds this connection outweighs that other one, and a release of an ex look like a high probability. Give your relationship a chance under the finances and career. I'm also looking at a running storyline of, in the 2nd house, Taurus was planning on celebrating and maybe planning a getaway. So where did that Pentacle go? Again, on their romance, maybe on their excursion, or that surprise that they have for Aries. Alright, hi chat. Thank you so much for your support on the video and on the channel. Okay, King of Cups was the card that fell out of the deck here. The 8th house governs intimacy, spirituality, a renewal, a new beginning after an end. A lot of things. Okay, so now we'll look at Taurus with other Tauruses in the 2nd house. I was totally feeling separation in this one. And then I got that clarifier at the end, separation. But it was totally also, I didn't mention it, but the wounded healer is in the second house right now, gone retrograde. So, and it's describing those of us who are going through some hardships and some just experiencing very intensity in the atmosphere around us, like in everyday life, something very intense going on that could be heart shattering, heartbreaking, for an example, just very uncomfortable. And the intentions are to move that energy inward and inspire and catalyze raising one's value system, assessing the situation and having this intrinsic realization, just a natural byproduct of realizations that your boundaries, your standards are too low. You need to set some boundaries. Your values are too low, or they don't resonate with where you are truly right now and how you feel about yourself. Self-esteem issues are too low. So with that type of energy described, seeing a separation here in the second house, Taurus with other Tauruses, is not surprising. It looks like there's room for a reconciliation in the future. I don't see it on the page at the moment, as this is a short-term energy reading. Energy changes all the time. And for all we know, there could be a feeling to separate, but the couples involved go ahead and work it out and don't separate. That's also high likelihood as well. But there's some sort of indecision here about, and it feels like here's a work embodiment. Here's the Two of Swords. It says attraction, and I felt like pay attention to the red flags was also a card to put on there as a clarifier. So here, the Eight of Pentacles, so this is really very clear, like right off of the surface, almost like right if you want to skim the cream off the top of milk. It's so obvious clearly. Here's some work right here that needs to be done, and it's the Two of Swords that clarifies it. So right off the top, there's some indecision as to whether or not they want to work on it, whatever it is. Is it the relationship that they want to work on? Is it something else that they might want to work on, for an example? But there's some, I don't know why the word indifference also keeps coming up. It might probably feel like there's indifference. This right here technically points to indecision. I think that indifference is a little different than indecision. Indecision is having like two options and fluctuating between the two with some uncertainty, where indifference seems to imply that there's a lack of care. There's a lack of care. And maybe even that is what it is that brings about the Two of Swords. Like, well, if my partner doesn't care, then why should I? Maybe that brings the Two of Swords. Like, do you care? Like, I mean, I go for it, but if you don't care, I certainly am not going to, I don't feel like it either. I can't do it by myself. I don't want to do it by myself. Here it is, doing it by themselves, though, still. There's something that they're doing by themselves. But again, there's a high likelihood that in the Five of Pentacles, they're both weathering a storm and feeling like they have the world on their shoulders together. And so if that is the case where they're trying to stick it out, even here, I don't see a release, but there is, pay attention to the red flags, and there's an attraction. So I still see that the unit is moving together, but there's some uncomfortability here. Like, hey, do you want to be here? Did I say I didn't want to be here? Well, you sure act like it. Can we just keep moving forward? I'm tired. I don't feel like talking type of energy. So they could be moving together, and it says stay optimistic about your relationship, but these major arcanas here, and so those are heavy forces, heavy energetic bodies, transformative energy, because they're major arcana. So it's above our head type energy. It's energies of the universe and the atmosphere that has culminated from choices and decisions made within our own free will. So there could be just this heavy feeling, like this ominous energy just like trying to, feels like stress this connection, break the connection up. But you two, and as we know, Tauruses are very strong willed. They are really built tough, they're built tough. So it's amazing how when their mental constitution is really strong, which adequately it makes a lot of sense why their archetype is the bull, very strong, and the Hierophant, very strong, hardwired concepts and mental think pieces. Like once they get it in their head, the Hierophant, like your priest, you wouldn't expect your priest or whatever clergy member to be wavering and double-minded. When you go there, you expect them to have a strong mental constitution about why they're there, and so much that if they don't have the answers, they'll find the answer type energy. Anyways, what did I say that for? And that's the Five of Pentacles, weathering a storm, feeling like the world is on their shoulders, feeling like they're alone, but they could feel like it's them against the world, literally, with these major arcanas trying to break them apart. Will they break apart or will they not? It almost, here is where the separation clarifier is around the Hangman, though. So even that's, there's a strong desire to want to stay together, to want to work things out, even naturally, a natural byproduct, as is the wounded warrior in the second house going retrograde. It's like everything that's happening suddenly, it's like an epiphany. It's like a natural byproduct. It resonates like, I need to raise my standards, I need to raise my values. I am worth more than this. Whereas where somebody could have had a fear of success, but with this energy, it's almost like you're just by default not fearful of success anymore. You have to. It's almost like it comes into the picture like a survival mode. I have to raise my values. I have to set better standards. I have to, and I will. But anyhow, this is what it feels like right here. In that Hangman, staying together and determined to work this out and to find a solution. But the clarifier is letting us know that it ain't easy in their separation. And these multiple card combinations too suggest that there's a sense of relief. It feels like you would be relieved to just separate and spend some time apart for a moment, just to let the dust settle, just to get some, personal space, so to recollect your own thoughts, your own energy, and come back to terms, come back together, with a clear mind and clearer perspectives. For whatever reason, it seems like there's a question at the forefront, or there's a pink elephant in the room, something that needs to be addressed, but like an overstimulus, an overload of stimuli before you can even get into to address it. Like, ooh, you know what? I need a nap before I do. Well, hold on, I need a strong drink before I, look, might not even drink. So, no, I need to blow off some steam before I come back here and am ready to address this. Definitely ready to address it though, because there's attraction, but pay attention to the red flags. It's like it's something that you don't want to be haphazard or rushed about, And Tauruses don't really rush. It's kind of rare for a Taurus to rush into anything that they haven't thought about meticulously before doing so and plotted out the perfect course and the perfect plan with contingency, options as well, alternatives. So anyway, and so that's what I'm looking at, that the framework in the second house. Taurus with Taurus. So we'll move to our next house, which is going to be Gemini in just a moment. So yes, hi chat. Thank you so much for your support on the video and on the channel. We are I'm hearing that song in my head suddenly. We are the champions. We are the champions. I don't know the rest of the words. Da, 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 da. We are the champions. Mm-hmm. We stick together to the end. Thank you, God, for your goodness and your mercy. Hallelujah. Thank you, God, for your goodness and your mercy. Hallelujah, Jesus. Thank you. Gemini and Taurus. In this connection, it looks like this looks like a relief. Like there's been a lot of pent up energy, a lot of intensity, and finally, towards the end, finally, there's a sigh of relief. And I thought that as well, because sometimes the Ten of Swords is describing instant relief, like even X-rated bedroom activity. So it's definitely multifaceted in its translations and worthy to be clarified, especially depending on context. And the context was good. So the Six of Pentacles, one of my favorite Pentacle cards in the deck, and then it's clarified with a Page of Pentacles, which typically points right to the sixth house, which is a house that governs service and daily routines and health. It's Virgo's house, the sixth house. This is a connection with Gemini and Taurus. So, of course, Taurus's energy is in the Page of Pentacles as well as Capricorn, which points to the 10th house. So, there may be some financial things going on, but it looks like this is a favorable time where just by the hair on one's chinny chin chin, somebody is able to make everything meet, make ends meet, having good Samaritans meet with them, maybe a good, not maybe, but if and when needed, it's a good time to go look for grants and assistance, etc. And so that's a really beautiful card. And so it suggests here in the Gemini and Taurus connection that there's support, here and understanding and working together through challenges and even through hard times, like a mutual ability to support and to trust in one another, nurture and breathe life back into one another. Especially, it also seems to lean that there's potential for one to be stronger than the other, so carrying the weight for one another, and so there's a sense of relief at the end of this progression, especially this Hangman. That energy and the Moon energy is a very powerful one, especially in context that, there's already a strong desire to be successful and supportive and believe in each other. And then this major arcana comes into the picture that even more so intensifies it. It's like very like a miracle in the air waiting to happen and keeps happening, and just a good favorable time. Yeah, that hangman able, the ability to think outside of the box, and able to, the epiphanies and the dreams that answer questions, and enhance abilities and skill sets, all of that. And then this moon energy, almost like when you come out of it, just vibrating high and glowing, is what it looks like. And like, how did you you know last time I saw you, you weren't looking so good maybe, and then all of a sudden they're glowing and they're looking so better. Like, how are you just glowing so good type energy, So that 10 of swords is, it was out of place basically with all of that being stated up front, even without the clarifiers. So it's like, definitely gonna need to clarify that and see if it's a pleasurable 10 of swords, a sigh of relief of what it looks like, if nothing else, and even maybe some pleasure, and that's what it looks like. It looks like after the hard times get better and the light is seen at the end of the tunnel, and all of that beautiful support that they had for each other through the hard times just brought their connection together closer in a more passionate way. Also, as they get to explore their connections in that way. And then I'm off the page there, as this is a short-term energy reading. We'll be back to do another as soon as possible. I hope I did a good job to just lightly color the framework for you to lay your scenario down if it resonates, for your context and content. So we'll be back and we'll move to the next house to look at Taurus with Cancer, Taurus's and Cancer's connections in just a moment. Hey chat, thank you for your support on the video and on the channel. Thank you for interacting with me, guys. Let's see here what's going on. Appreciate you guys dropping your questions too. Oh, I'm all sighing and stuff because I'm just like, why does this hermit keep coming into Cancer's readings? And this time it's Cancer and Taurus. But so the hermit it points to the sixth house. The hermit is Virgo's archetype. So of course I'm hoping there's no obstructive interferences going on. But let's keep going. There is let's see here. Oh, help and health and service is indicated there with the hermit, and also something that's potentially secret, hidden, withdrawn. Oh, and it says unrequited love there. Unrequited love and the Nine of Swords. So, but over here, it's safe to love, and finances and career is an issue too. So let's see, unrequited love. So it might suggest that there could be some financial differences that are causing some challenge. But here's the Ten of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, and Eight of Pentacles. So money looks really good over here. Oh, money looks really good over here. And then there's abundance indicated with the Empress. So, and the Empress was clarified with another Empress. So, but then it says finances and career are an issue. So, what is this about? But it could be, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm up in the air about it because I'm thrown off about what's happening here. I don't see indication of an obstructive interference going on here. So what could have happened to have such abundance and such abundance right here? Bring us over there to unrequited love and finances and career being an issue. I think I'm going to have to take a moment, take a break, and pray about this one, and I'll be back. Okay, I like to progress a little further before coming back here, but sometimes only, yeah, we're in the fourth house. So I will sign off for now, guys, and I'll come back after praying and taking a break. Signing off for now until next time. Peace.